Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I'm being joined by Jake and Adam.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey everyone.
And we got an exciting matchup today with me playing Android 21 versus Adam, who's playing Halo Q or however else you want to pronounce it. I prefer another Q, but hey, whatever. Remember to click the buttons down below. They're there for a reason. And we got an extra button down in the description, our Whatnot affiliation link, but more on that later. For now, let's get into today's matchup.
Android 21?
Yeah. I kind of talked about this in the weekly update, which got pushed to Monday. Sorry about that, everyone. But we went through every leader. We finally got every leader from the set on the channel. Some profiles, some gameplay. So I didn't feel pressured to have to play anything new. And I was like, I want to go back to 21 because the new Android 18 card that came out, which has an activate main. You can pretty much pitch it, search top 5 cards of your deck for another Android card. I think specific cost. I think it has to be Android cost 5 or less. Or you could play it. I'm actually right there. I just did the effect. Or you can play it and it has on play effect where it bottom decks a card and a card in your opponent's hand as well. So I'm still testing this build out. I'm gonna add just a few more cards here and there. But overall, I was super impressed with playing it again and absolutely loved it. Though, as a reminder, this particular leader plays this field card, which is great because it gives battle cards summoning sickness, but it gives your opponent tokens to swing with that do not have summoning sickness. And if you cannot establish Android 18 Android 13 or the 1-drop 16 on turn 1, your opponent gets extra swings on that first turn of theirs if you go first. And that can be rough because in my current build, I'm going off the build I used previously. And also, we changed rooms, yet the colors are still like just shifting like crazy. Like we're going from summer to fall, summer to fall. But I went off my original build I did like I think early this year or last year it was, which I only played 2 of those 16s for some reason. I'm like, I'm gonna add 2 more for my sideboard for certain matchups, just make sure I see something early on.
And this is kind of a traditional start if if your opponent who's playing 21 does not get that Android 13 or the Android 16 is you just swing with everything you have because you've got to start getting their life down a little bit, and pretty soon those tokens are going to become useless. One little modification that I did to my deck was that I did put 3 of those bubbles in. I took 2 of the Senzu beans out and substituted 3 of the bubbles, and they really do give the deck a lot of consistency. As you can see, I already have 3 Angel Halos in my drop and was able to awaken, I believe, turn 1, possibly turn 2, which was really nice.
Yeah, it looks like you've still got 1 energy, so it's at least your turn 1 still.
Yeah.
Getting up early on was really good for you. And here, I go ahead and start the ramping process. And I'm really just focusing on clearing your board because I haven't seen either of the 2 cards I need to see yet. And it's getting to this point very frustrating. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to clear his board so I don't have to worry about it and then just go into this turn.
Is there a particular reason you let that card go to the drop area instead of the Z after you comboed?
The deck doesn't really. I mean, the only thing in the deck that really matters on cards in my drop is Dimension Magic if I want to crit a life for the Sparking 5. But outside that, just to get cards in my Z energy for my Z deck, since I am playing blue, obviously I'm playing like Cell, which is great for just clearing a board. And if I recall correctly, the Cell, it pulls all cards on your opponent's field, doesn't get past barrier, which means I can also use it to clean up tokens if they get to a point where it's too many.
That's interesting that Cell will interact with the token.
Okay, I think it's battle cards. I don't know if they actually go underneath the Cell. Because I think when they leave the way that they
when they leave the battle area, they kind of cease to exist.
It's not technically leaving the battle area; it's just switching. And the way the rules have been changed, I can't remember how it would actually affect it. But here, I went ahead and used both the effects on front and awaken, then on the back, and I had to pay 2 for the use it, which is fine. I had the energy to do it, and I get to resand 2 of my multicolored cards now. So I felt comfortable go ahead and just paying the 2 for Super 13, and then immediately when in my turn they will get restood because of the pending effects during my opponent's next main phase. Man, it's getting super red. What is happening?
It's the fury and rage in my soul that's coming out on the battlefield. Yeah. So what's kind of your I mean, it seems like it's a little bit just stally on Android 21. What's kind of your win condition that you're looking for, Bancroft?
So there's 2 different. Also, the reason why we switched to dice because the cards no longer can attack as long as I activate the unit's ability. So it just makes it easier that way. The big end goal is still very similar. Either I establish Super 17 from the energy, which either can potentially crit. Right now I only play 2 Bad Omens altogether. I may side in a third one for future games. I feel like may take a little bit longer, but have at least 2 Bad Omens and have at least an 18 in my energy, so that way when I play Super 17, it naturally will pop potentially 3 cards and 2 life on that play alone. If that doesn't come my opponent, then I have a board that can just swing. Because once you with the ramp 16, I can no longer play cards between 30 and 35,000. So I mean, I could still have them in my deck, but they will never hit the board, unfortunately. So I could play like the Golden Avenger, but it won't get played. It'll just get the counter aspect of it, which isn't. I guess maybe it's not a bad thing, but it feels like a waste.
Seems clunky overall.
Yeah.
I think it's better to just go without it.
Yeah, and I found my 18s finally, which I felt so fantastic about the SPRs.
So you felt like Adam. You felt like Bubbles has added consistency to the deck. What are your thoughts on Halo Coup with that inclusion? Overall, like has your feeling around the deck changed or?
I've not done terribly on the local level. I'm probably about 60 to 70% win ratio, which isn't bad. But this particular match is interesting because of that summoning sickness. Because I can't attack with the first battle card that I play. And one of the things that this deck I've noticed likes to do is that it likes to play these battle cards and turn all of my energy to rest. Play these battle cards that have some pretty cool effects on them, and that stand energy at the end of my turn. But it's I got to play something first. So like it just in this case, I play this Z battle card that only costs 1 energy to play, so that I can go ahead and get that summoning sickness out of the way to try to play possibly the other card, and I got countered, so that didn't work the way that I wanted it to.
And that 18 stops it from hitting the board, so so the field card doesn't ever get procced.
So the effect on this Pycon and Goku is so good that I thought that it was a good idea to play it anyway, just to be able to get the restand and the draw at the end of turn.
Oh yeah, that's probably one of my favorite blue cards out of Zenkai. Just the overall versatility it has, where you can combo with 5Ks from the drop and then put them in your Z and then remove battle cards. Plus, like you said, you're going to restand. And the art is amazing.
Yeah, and it's essentially free for me, right? Because I can move cards from my drop into my warp to get my Angel Halo back, which is an extra mono blue card. So I could just pitch 2 of those and be able to get that barrier on it instead of pitching things like Senzu Beans or Dimension Magics that a lot of the other blue decks would pitch.
I like this card.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
5 or less, and I have to discard a card, right, on battle cards.
that's correct. Yeah, I think you put it at the bottom of your deck if you want to attack. So works really, really good for those swarmy type decks.
And even though I did swing with the battle card first, which from this point on my attacks are fine as long as I don't play any more cards. But again, the way the deck runs, if I play a card, it has 76, so I have to play a secondary card just to get that off out of the way. I was gonna say something, I can't remember. I don't know if it's already occurred or not. There's a couple mistimings of what we did in the match. And we both kind of went back and forth on. I was like, I meant to resand this. And you're like, you're fine, resand it. And then you're like, can I come with this? Put as my Z energy? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. You know, I don't. It's a locals. We're fine. So if we didn't go over those, they're there. We realize it. But if there's anything else we missed, let us know.
Yeah. Go ahead and burn us in the comments, guys. It's fine. I've got thick skin. So yeah, it's once again, the practicing with this deck, I do feel a lot more comfortable with it now. I'm kind of understanding my sequencing, and when to put cards into my drop versus into my Z energy. So it's still fun, which is nice. But you get to play a cell. Now, is this the first battle card of the turn? I think.
Yeah, I think I'd go do a swing with it possibly, and then I might catch it. Yeah. So then I can't I can't swing. That's right. My own hand. I stopped myself from swinging.
Such restraint.
And here I think I play a Zeno because now I'm trying to. I feel like I'm trying to search for another card, even though my field's pretty good enough, and I don't
double Zeno.
I don't feel like you have a lot of what's the word? Cards I could deal with my Zenos when they hit the board. But I couldn't remember at the time. But I went ahead and did anyways to search.
That's a scary play. If he goes into the big 4-drop here, you could lose a lot of value.
Mm-hmm.
Hey everyone, Bancroft here to give you a quick word about Whatnot. Whatnot is a live streaming auction app where you can buy Dragon Ball Super cards, other trading cards, or just any collectible you could think of. And if you join right now through our affiliation link in the description, you get $15 off your first purchase on Whatnot. Whatnot is an exciting new way to shop online, and if you create an account through our affiliation link and make a purchase, you directly support the channel so we can keep bringing you daily Dragon Ball Super card game content. Now, back to the video.
Okay, yeah, just go ahead and smart.
So yeah, immediately combo one off, switch my energy up, get myself ready for the following turns.
Yeah.
And my goal right here at this point is that once I got both my bad omens in my energy, and I do have also that's the 18 as well. So kind of my goal is to just try to apply pressure and get him down to 2 life. And also in retrospect, I had the Zeno before I played Cell. I could have tapped one for Zeno first to proc the semi-sickness and then Cell. I just wasn't planning on playing Zeno until I realized, oh yeah, I can't attack. Whoops. Know my own deck.
Yeah, and here is that that nice big beefy Son Goku.
And you put my cards above my deck, so now I'm like, okay.
Oof. Yeah.
Which I don't do a lot of shuffling with this deck, so that Zeno's gone forever.
That's unfortunate.
And I mean, at this point in time, I believe that you had tried. I think that you had tried to do the minus on the Android 13 earlier.
No, so I was gonna do it.
Okay.
On this attack, and I had negate for your 6-drop. I was like, oh, you're attacking the Unison? Oh yeah, it's fine. And I think I go to swing, and I'm like, oh, that ain't gonna work. Well, crap. So I just plus 2 instead.
Well, and another frustrating thing, and I don't know if it's kind of a flex when you're playing, blue, but if you have that Zeno and I see you pull that Trunks that you just put down on the board
back to my hand, yeah,
back to your hand, it's like immediately I'm thinking, well, I should probably not play anything that doesn't have deflect.
Yeah. And I think in a later turn, there's a moment where you even question what should you do?
Exactly.
Because I've already shown you 2 different counterplays that are in my deck, you know?
Yep. It's such a huge threat because especially this late in the game, you're spending so many resources to get your bigger cards out and make your bigger plays. That something that is a zero cost to put it back into your hand is demoralizing.
Fortunately for Adam, though, this big 6-drop or 8-drop or whatever it is, but you pay 4 for it. I don't think it's unique. So
it is a limit 1, but it on the activate or on the auto. But yeah, it does have deflect, barrier, triple strike, so it'll stick around.
So as the game goes on, if he could establish additional copies of this, or maybe a Boo Unison or another Goku versus Pycon, it might not matter even if you do get to tap, as long as he can stay above 2 life and doesn't get completely burned out by bad omens. You might just not be able to break the wall, especially since neither player has played Baby Hatch yet, I don't think.
That Goku felt pretty good, actually. Like, at this point, I don't need a ramp anymore, so I was able to play it to get rid of the extra card, get an extra draw, and just cycle. The Z battle card that was.
You may see that I've got a Senzu Bean in my energy. I did side out my Ultra Instinct Kamehamehas and my Crit Friezas for some Senzu Beans and another Olibu, I think, because I didn't think that I was going to be using that combo in this match.
So here you're procking the Goku to get a to get past the summoning sickness, and that's also why I like 21 so much. It adds like an extra level of like, okay, I have to play a card, but I have to play a card before I play a card if I want to swing with that card. Like, me and Jake got the chance to play, and we talked a little bit of that as well in the video from yesterday. But certain decks, that works out great against. And other decks, is kind of like, well, I'm going to do this anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, I was playing Trunks and Vegeta, and then playing 1-drops, and then evolving them in their new cards, and are no longer summoning sick. It's just like, oh, great. Well, sucks for me.
Yeah. In here, I'm just bringing out my pre-release Grand Priest for a combo piece for the Chill's Reinforcement Army. It's just weird, just feeling okay to pay 2 energy for that card too, because this deck does ramp.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, so this is interesting now. So like, you have 2 blockers on to protect yourself. And this is the turn I'm like, okay, if I get at least 1 damage in, then I'm good. And I'm just gotta push for that 1 damage before I pay any energy for anything.
Do we catch that this boost should be inactive?
Yes.
Okay.
He negates, and then I kind of like, oh, your boost should be inactive as well. So here I swing. It has 6 markers on it. I protected it this time because I wanted to keep it at 6 markers so I could do the double strike if need, because he's still at, I think, 4 life right now. And you chose not to block. I'm like, okay, -4 combo. I think I come up to 30. No, I come to 40. Wow, because 25. So, I want the double strike to hit. I want it to go through so I can tap to 7.
And from Adam's perspective, it's a tough call because you just got your Boo online and you don't want to lose 2 markers, but it might have been worth it right there.
And here I'm debating. I'm like, okay, he's established using. He felt okay taking the double strike. I'm like, if this guy has a God-Slaying Trunks, I'm screwed. Because the way this Super 17 works, it actually has a comma. So the card plays itself. Then you play 3 cards for energy, which I think is great because it gets past the field card, because it allows the card to be played first and then the other 3 cards come into play. So he could have let 17 come into play and then immediately God-Sealing the other 3 coming into play. And I'm like, oh, well. And if he would have done that, I'm sitting with only 1 energy open for the rest of the, potentially the game, and that might be it if I don't have Baby Hatch in my hand.
Yep, the power of assumption with blue, right? Thinking that I've got that Trunks, but
Yeah.
it was all a farce.
I mean, I think I said, if you got it, that's game. Good job. And I just played it, and you're like, you're good. And I'm like, you sure? He's like, yeah, you're good. And I'm like,
You're good.
all right, that's 2 damage. GG. So, with that being said, thank you for the opportunity. Keep in mind there's buttons on both and the link. And yeah, read your cards, know your plays. And oh, wait, that's me. Oh, man. Jake, lead us out.
Remember to read your cards, know your plays, let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and fluff out.